His Majesty the King began a visit to Singapore, the first leg of a Work in Asian tour that will also take him to Indonesia. King Abdullah held talks with Singaporean leaders on ways of cementing economic ties and political developments in the Middle East and the world. More in this report.
Singapore, an Asian business hub and one of the world's fastest growing economies. The city-state and island country in Southeast Asia is the first stop of His Majesty the King's working trip, where he held talks with President Tony Tan Keng Yam. The two leaders expressed their interest to boost ties between Jordan and Singapore in economic and a host of other fields. During the talks, King Abdullah said Jordan's strategic location makes it a link between three of the world's continents and a gateway to the Middle East. He spoke about the kingdom's security and stability, as well as its skilled manpower and its signing of many free trade agreements, both at the regional and international levels. During an official dinner banquet, the Singaporean leader held in honor of His Majesty and the accompanying delegation, King Abdullah said facilities offered by Jordan to foreign investors would help foster the partnership with Singapore.
As you know, I am an old friend of Singapore, and it is always a delight to be back here to see the advancements that this country continues to do and the symbol it is for many of us around the world. Jordanians do not just look at Singapore, they look to Singapore. We see a model not just for Jordan but for many countries around the world. And our countries share some key similarities. For what our countries lack in size, they have made up for in their embrace for an open and liberalized global integrated economy, resiliency, and our investment in human capital to promote economic growth and overcome a lack of natural resources. Our countries have put in place all the building blocks needed to establish a strategic partnership, thus cementing our FTA and providing Singapore with a gateway to the MENA region. And Jordan continues to benefit from Singapore's developmental experiences in areas of capacity building and human resources. And as you know, Your Excellency, youth represent 70% of my country's population. Therefore, I made sure to bring a selected group of them to witness firsthand Singapore's success story, as they are the ones who will be shaping our future. Importantly, Mr. President, our countries continue to strive to build a bridge between the Middle East and wider Asia, as can be seen by Singapore's admirable Asia-Middle East Dialogue Initiative. It is for this important reason that I've come to Singapore, a key leader in ASEAN, to deepen our dialogue on issues relevant to Asia at a time when Jordan is honored to represent Asia at the United Nations Security Council, and I have greatly appreciated hearing from Your Excellency's insights during our discussions.
The President of Singapore said his country is interested in forging stronger relations with Jordan, a country he said is a regional development model and key supporter of global peace and security. The President said his country sees Jordan as an oasis of stability in the Middle East due to its wise policies.
Singapore and Jordan enjoy excellent relations based on key common interests. As countries with relatively small populations and limited natural resources, Singapore and Jordan fully appreciate the importance of human capital development, which is the most precious of all resources. As countries with small domestic economies, Singapore and Jordan share a strong interest in promoting closer economic trade and investment links. We both aim to expand our economic links beyond our immediate neighborhood to engage as many partners as possible. The Singapore-Jordan Free Trade Agreement was Singapore's first FTA with a Middle Eastern country.
The president also commended Jordan as a coexistence model, referring to the Amman message and King Abdullah's role in promoting interfaith dialogue and the key values of tolerance and justice.
Our two countries share a common goal of promoting interfaith dialogue and understanding. As a multiracial and multi-religious society, Singapore strongly believes in the principles contained in the Amman message, which was espoused by Your Majesty in 2004.
Also on the agenda were the political situation in the Middle East, including efforts underway to achieve peace between the Palestinians and Israel, as well as the repercussions of the Syrian crisis on regional countries. The two leaders said they backed US-led efforts to bring about comprehensive Palestinian-Israeli peace and regional security and stability. The leaders agreed that a political solution in Syria should be found to end the suffering of the country's people. Jordan, the king said, bore enormous burdens for hosting the largest number of Syrian refugees. Upon his arrival at the presidential palace in Singapore, King Abdullah was accorded full honors. His Majesty began his several-day Singapore trip calling on the country's Institute of Technical Education, a leading center for the training and graduation of qualified manpower in various technology industries. The king took a first-hand look at the various facilities of the institute that carries out training in high-demand labor sectors and was briefed on curricula and state-of-the-art applied equipment. Jordan, he said, was interested in the Institute's expertise to build youth capacity and upgrade the performance of the kingdom's 44 vocational training centers. Khaled Ababne for the News at 10.